Hello friends, welcome to Insightsias initiative. You all know that we are discussing about the Prelims High Yield series. As a part of the Prelims High Yield series, in today's video we are going to discuss about COP Summit. In case if you missed out, this is a part 2 video. In part 1 video, I explained you about COP27 and COP28 in detail. In case if you miss out, you can find from the cards here. I'll include the previous, the video where I explained about COP27 and COP28. Now in this video, we will discuss about the COP summits and India's role on the COP summit. What kind of initiative our government of India took on the COP summit. Okay, without any further delay, let's see regarding the COP summits. And of course, we'll also touch upon topics like common but differentiated responsibility and various other issues. Okay, so these are some of the important developments in COP meetings. We will discuss about only the major COP meetings and the outcomes related to COP meetings. If you look at here COP3, we all know that the first COP summit, it was started in 1995 in Germany, Berlin, okay, and Bonn. And before that, UNFCCC was formed. Based on the UNFCCC framework, COP summits are happening on every yearly basis. COP3, the third COP summit, it was held in 1997 in Kyoto, Japan, and here Kyoto Protocol was adopted. The main objective of Kyoto Protocol is about reduction of the emissions. And even they're trying to set the emission targets for that mainly it is a legally binded developed countries. It is not related to developing or something like. It started with the developed countries. Then COP7 2001 Marrakesh, Morocco. Here Marrakesh Accord signed. According to that, the ratification of the Kyoto Protocol, that means whatever the agreements reached in Kyoto Protocol, now they are going to be implemented according to this COP7 protocol. Then COP8 New Delhi 2002. Here Delhi Declaration. According to this Delhi Declaration, India emphasized the contribution from the developed countries towards the developing countries. Not only just because the developed countries are contributing to a lot of carbon emissions, but developed countries are having a lot of resources and technology. Because of that, there's a need of developed countries to contribute a lot to developing countries. That is what India emphasized in COP8. Then COP13, which held in 2007, Bali, Indonesia. This is popularly known as Bali Roadmap and Bali Action Plan. This is regarding the mitigation, adaptation, and technology and financing. Those are the things they discussed. COP14, 2008, Poznan, Poland. Adaptation Fund under Kyoto Protocol launched. Okay, under Kyoto Protocol, how to adapt to the changing climate change. Of course, the extension to that adaptation fund. Now, recently we are following this kind of loss and damage fund that is related to in extension of this. Next, COP15, Copenhagen, Denmark in 2009. Developed countries, they pledged that they'll contribute around 30 billion in first start finance as a first start finance. Okay, it is between the 2010 to 2012 as a fast start process. They pledged that they will contribute this money, but it was never realized. The main issue in climate change, this fight is about the climate finance. Most of the times, developed countries are they failing to fulfill their contributions, which are they making at the COP summits. Next, 2010 COP16, which happened in Mexico, Cancun Agreement, where the developed countries, they again emphasize that they will give whatever the assistance required to developing countries. COP18 2012, it happened in Doha, Qatar. Doha Amendment, they amended the Kyoto Protocol so that regarding the reducing of greenhouse gas emissions and all these things, those targets are future forwarded. COP19 Warsaw, Poland. This is regarding the Warsaw framework. Later then you all know that COP21 Paris Agreement. And previously we discussed about COP27 and COP28 as well. Of course, in this video, even we will discuss about COP26, India's commitment, that is India's Panchamrit, those we will discuss. This is a brief overview regarding the COP summit, in case if you miss out, okay. So this is a quick revision. Generally, COP meetings happens every year. First COP meeting held in Berlin, Germany, 1995. Bonn is a place where UNFCCC present. Continuation to this COP19, if you look at 2015, COP21 Paris Climate Agreement, there we reached to Paris Agreement. Actually, Paris Agreement, whether we are implementing the Paris Agreement or not, we will assess every 5 years. Okay, what is the name of that assessment program? If you know, Put your answer in the comment section. What is the name of the assessment program related to the Paris Climate Agreement? Actually, it started in 2023 itself for the first time. Okay. According to this Paris Agreement, for every year, developed countries are going to contribute around $100 billion as a green climate fund. Of course, it is also having its challenges and it is getting delayed regarding this fund. Next, 2018 COP24 Katowice, Poland, rule book for Paris Agreement. Like here, how to implement the Paris Agreement, and the countries also, they announced their Indices, nationally determined contribution, and how they are going to implement. That kind of details released in this particular COP24. Then COP27, here India announced their target for net zero target 2070. India target is for 2017. Then what about in COP28? In COP28, all the group developed countries and all the countries, they declare, we would like to achieve this net zero as a global, which year? Okay, so what is the target year for COP28 with respect to net zero targets? Put your answer in the comment section. And India called for phase down of coal-based power plants, and Glasgow breakthrough agenda been reached, and India announced its Paris Panchamrit as well. COP27 Sharm el Sheikh, loss and damage fund, and the rest of the details we already discussed, African carbon market initiative and all these things. COP is the apex decision making authority of UNFCCC. COP meeting generally happens for every 1 year. First COP meeting was held in Berlin, Germany in March 1995. Offices of the COP President generally rotate among the 5 United Nations regional groupings, which is Africa, Asia, Latin America, Central and Eastern America, and Western Europe. And the president is usually the environment minister of the particular home country. UNFCCC stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, signed in 1992, which is in force from 1994. This 1992, it was signed at the Earth Summit, popularly known as Rio Summit. Universal membership, that means this UNFCCC consists of 197 parties. It is a parent treaty of the 2015 Paris Agreement. Secretariat present in Bonn, Germany. UNFCCC Secretariat present in Bonn, Germany. Then India at COPs historically. Right from 1992, Rio de Janeiro, India is mainly emphasizing the need of developed countries contributing towards the developing countries regarding the technology, finance, and there must be common but differentiated responsibility between the developed countries and developing countries. That is what India is advocating across all the COP meetings. Okay, India played important role in Kyoto Protocol at COP third meeting 1997. India put very strongly on the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. Rich and developed countries, they are not only contributed to lot of fossil emissions, but they are having a lot of resources and technology, so they have to take the initiative. That is India's stand. India at the recent COP21 Glasgow meeting, India blocked the proposal that, the word phase out of the fossil fuels or coal emission, phasing out of the coal, that should be replaced with the phase down. This is what the India demanded. Okay, instead of the phase out, India demanded for the phase down, because India's energy needs are heavily dependent on coal, and India is not ready for completely phasing out of the coal. Okay, now of course, now gradually we are encouraging the renewable energy. COP27 at Sharm el Sheikh meeting last year, India campaigned for phasing down of fossil fuels, not just coal but other form of the fossil fuel as well. Next, so India ratified the Paris Climate Deal. According to the Paris Climate Deal, so India aims to get this Paris Climate Deal. Then, of course, at the Paris Agreement, we announced certain targets from India. Those targets were modified in Glasgow Summit at COP21. In the Paris Climate Deal 2015, this deal is to, to put temperature, global warming up to 2 degrees only compared to the pre-industrial levels. And this deal negotiated by 197 countries, signed by 191 countries. And this Paris Climate Agreement also intensify the action and funds for sustainable low carbon future. It ensures the low carbon future. Then to reduce the emissions intensity by 33% at least by 2030. By 2030, they would like to reduce the carbon emissions by 33% and generating of 40% of electricity from non-fossil fuels by 2030. and creating additional carbon sink, that means forest and like mainly trees, around 2.5 billion to 3 billion additional carbon sink. So these are some of the targets. But at COP26, again, India announced the renewed targets. We modified some of the targets we achieved and we renewed our targets. Let's see COP26 Panchamrit. I am reading out, listen carefully. Reach non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatts by 2030. 500 gigawatt by 2030. Second one, of the entire energy needs, 50% of the energy must come from the renewable source. Third one, reduce 1 billion carbon emissions by 2030. Fourth one, reduce carbon intensity by more than 45% by 2030. Carbon intensity means how much carbon we are using for the 1% unit of the GDP. Okay, it is not sector specific. Remember, India's carbon intensity is related to the entire Indian economy. It is not related to sector specific. That you have to remember here. And achieving the target of net zero by 2070. So these are the India's Panchamrit at COP26. Now let's see, compared to the COP21, the comparison, target for 2030. Initially at Paris Climate Agreement, we committed for around reduction of 33 to 35% compared to the 2005 level. But now we updated that, the reduction, we increased it to 45% of the carbon emissions we have to reduce. In the same way, non-fossil fuels, electricity, 40% we increased it to now to 50%. Carbon sink, we are committed to the same. We did not change. So these are some of the changes, okay, we made and we announced in the like Panchamrit at COP21. Next, India initiative at COP Summit. One is International Solar Alliance. International Solar Alliance is an effort to increase the solar energy by the countries which are mainly located between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, because the solar energy availability is very high in this particular region. International Solar Alliance proposal is proposed by India and France. Okay, at Paris Climate Agreement. This is one initiative by India at COP Summit. And the Coalition of Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. This is about encouraging the infrastructure which can withstand the disasters. And tell me guys, where is the headquarter of the CDRI? Where is the headquarter of CDRI? Next, Mission Life. This is launched by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Life here, Mission Life. Life stands for Lifestyle for Environment, and it launched at the Statue of Unity at Gujarat. And in COP21 summit, that is at this COP21 summit, Paris Climate Agreement, also we proposed, and COP26 we mainly highlighted this one. At COP21 UN Climate Change Conference, COP26 in year 2021, our Prime Minister announced this Mission Life. This is about encouraging the people towards more environment friendly lifestyle. That is about the Mission Life. That may be the discouraging the single use plastic and use and dispose economy rather than the discouraging the use and dispose economy and encouraging the circular economy. These are some of the initiatives encouraged by Government of India towards the LIFE program. So this is about the quick revision of the COP Summit. I hope this video is useful to you. In case if you like to recommend any additional suggestions, feel free to give suggestions in the comment section. I'll try to include your suggestion in the coming videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day. Jai Hind.